for some of your comments. Lots of comments over the last few weeks. And we are going to be talking about some Pardinis. We're going to be talking about Marvels versus Pardinis. We're going to be having a whole lot of fun. But first, I'm going to give you the 3 rules for life. Rule 1, don't be a jerk. Rule 2, take care of yourself. Rule 3, help other people. I'm traveling right now and will be for a while, but I just want to show you guys this view. Pretty nice, right? Konnichiwa. I'm off doing not bullseye things. It's a rough life. Somebody's got to do it. But let's go ahead and let's get started into y'all's comments. So I got my iPad up over here. Hopefully I got this figured out. I don't think we'll get a ton of viewers because it's pretty early in the States. But we've had a lot of fun videos. I recorded most of them before I went out, and you guys have been liking them, so that's really exciting. So let's just hit it up. This is on the silicon carbide videos. Looks like Dan Pauly reached out and asked if the silicon carbiding to your air pistol makes it still ISSF. I got stray, getting old man hairs. Makes it ISSF compliant still, and I think the answer is yes. I didn't see anything in the ISSF rules that required it. The only thing you would want to be very mindful of is you can't have something that sort of like encapsulates your hand. So I usually just, where the tang kind of comes down, I don't put silicon carbide there. Let's see. Stefan was talking about air pistol weights, and he mentioned that he did the exact same thing with his Steyr Evo 10E that I did with my Pardini K12, which is pretty cool. A lot of fun comments on the Pardini stuff. So looks like Age Hall says that he likes the old bolt design better than the new bolt design on the Pardini SP22, but does agree that the new bolt is like super easy to use, which it definitely is. That's one reason that we like it. Yes, this is live. Hi. And then let's see. Just wondering what brand ammo gives you the best accuracy in the Pardini. That's Chris Wood. So for me, CCI standard velocity seems to be just fine. SK match or SK pistol match special is kind of like what I normally use. They do make a Ely SP22 or an Ely Bullseye X, which is specifically made for the Pardini SP22. So I would say start there and see what works for you. We had a video up for Pardini SP22 versus a Marvel conversion. That was a pretty kind of popular video. Happy that you guys really liked it. Let's see what we've got here. So on that video, Mobile Gamers Unite says, thing looks awesome. It absolutely is awesome. Chris Wood asked about the ammo. John said Redbox. He said keep the videos coming, and he was talking about how long that I was holding it up there and that I was firing it. And he's also using CCI standard velocity as well. Let's see. Neffville says that that Pardini makes my Mark IV Light look like a toy. The guns aren't toys, but yeah, the Pardini is a cut above the Mark IV, but you know, Mark IVs are still pretty accurate. John Van Swearingen says the Romeo 5s are basically bulletproof. Moped out there. Romeo 5s are basically bulletproof, and he put his on a Perry. I've had a SIG Romeo 5 on my muzzle loader, my 50 cal muzzle loader before. So yeah, I really like it. Tim, yes, that would absolutely be just good enough. 1970s Smith & Wesson Model 41, you're good. Go out and shoot. Let's see, what else we got? Hammerly Fanboy, I love that handle name. I would have named my channel that. Says, where did you buy your new Pardini? I bought it from Pardini USA. So I would recommend reaching out to Pardini USA. Sagittarius 2 says, I'd much rather have the Pardini over the Marvel, but I'm biased because he has one. I have a 5-shot group at 25 yards using a rest with my Pardini that is no larger than the bore diameter. Yeah, that's pretty great. I think the best group that I have ever had is a point, I want to say it's like a 0.3 or 0.4, and that is the Marvel conversion that I got from Larry's Guns that I kind of jacked up when I was installing it, but it's still super accurate. Maybe it was, that might be, it was definitely, yeah. I mean, it was small. It was super small. All right. Jick1 says, I realize that Pardini has a 2-inch barrel. And then a couple people corrected him, but yes, on the Pardini, while it may look like the barrel is short, it actually is recessed further back into the gun, and so it's a full 5-inch barrel, and then the bolt sort of like rides around the barrel, which is it's a pretty cool design. You will get a better view of this, I think, tomorrow or maybe a couple days from now. I'll have a video that's coming out that shows how you change out your barrels on your Pardinis. So that's pretty cool. Stephen Wheeler says, cannot believe you don't like hot brass down your neck. It is a thrill indeed. All right, how to adjust SP22 trigger. H. Hall says, the English version of the manual actually doesn't cover all the adjustments. Ooh, there's one that's left out. He's bringing some knowledge. For those interested in doing more than simply adjusting the trigger pull weight, there's a PDF floating around of a guy that knows his stuff and describes how, in depth how all the adjustments. Also, could you do a video on how the heck you turn that trigger bar around? I probably can't do that for a while, but whenever I'm able, I'll do that. I also have long fingers and need my trigger moved forward. I don't have one in front of me, but so the first thing you have to do is you have to take the trigger shoe off, completely off, and then you take the trigger, like the part of the bar that goes down, you take that off, so you'd actually move it to the rearward, and then you take the horizontal trigger bar, and then you swap it forward. And then I think there are actually 2 holes there. So, yeah. And then there's a question on the another Pardini video, a lot of Pardini videos. Matt says, is it true that the one with the heavier bolt has tighter groupings? Is it too slow for rapid fire competition? No, it's not too slow, but you would want faster. The heavier bolt, and this is coming from Pardini, the heavier bolt is supposed to give you better accuracy at 50 yards. So, and I'm assuming that means I'm assuming that's because it has longer dwell time. And if you remember the video where we did the comparison of the different bolt weights, the rapid fire is really light. The standard, like the Pop-Tart, the old Bullseye one, is heavy, but then the new one is even heavier than that. And then there's another one that's floating out there that is on their Sport pistol. So there's bolts galore. I'll have to wait until they get at your gun. Yeah, well, I don't know what you're saying there, but all right, let's keep moving. The key to, somebody finally commented on the key to overcoming match pressure video, so appreciate that. And he's given us a little Zen wisdom. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. That's like the Tao Te Ching. Is that within ISSF rules? Silicon carbide again? Yes, I think so. I think so. I had the video, I shoot better one-handed. That was a fun video to shoot and record. And John says, buddy of mine decided that he wants to shoot better one-handed because he has some mild tremors. He believes that with two hands, there's twice the amount of wiggling going on. Love that Chambers working man's gun. I do too. I was watching your brass ejection pattern, usually fairly consistent. It makes me wonder if something in your shot process is getting dropped or not followed. Yeah, it most likely is. Russell Tracy Photography's talking about the Pardini that he bought, and he said he got the new bolt, the one that looks like a stack of nickels. That's a good description. Dwight says, where'd you get that cool Bullseye channel sticker? I got it from stickermule.com. I bought it. Had a bunch made. Somebody finally commented on a non-Bullseye video. So, you guys hear that? F-35s, probably. Samster said, heartbreaking moment from James Baldwin's 1965 debate with William F. Buckley, and he recommended that I look up Thomas Sowell, who are both from Harlem, both he and James Baldwin. And then this is the last one that I'm going to leave with. We'll end on. Actually, we'll do two here. So Lou says, I see that you have an aim point and an ultra dot as well. Which one did you like better? I see an ultra dot on my Nelson, but never used an aim point. So I prefer an aim point. That being said, I don't have an issue, and I actually really like the old made in Japan ultra dots. So if you can find an older ultra dot, I will say that the dot in an ultra dot for me works better with my eyes and my astigmatism. The aim points for me always didn't look as circular, but I just prefer them better, and I'm not totally sure why. But the aim points or the ultra dots, even the ultra dot, like is it the ultra dot 2 where you can like select the different sizes? I like that one. I think that's a good dot. I do not care at all for the ultra dot micros. So they came out with a micro a while back, and I didn't like it. So, and John Van Swearingen, he is talking about everything that goes into a 1911 trigger job. This is on the Pardini video, because I mentioned the great thing about the Pardini is you can make all these super minute adjustments to a Pardini with just Allen wrenches, whereas you would have to have a craftsman do that on a 1911. And John says, I don't think people can fully appreciate that point unless they know what goes into a 1911 trigger job. It's all the same principles, but the work is irreversible and frustratingly finicky. The Pardini makes it so easy, and indeed the Pardini does. All right, let's go through. It looks like we got some comments here on the live. Do you like a 2 MOA dot or a larger one? I don't really have a super strong preference. I sort of go back and forth. I like a 4 MOA, but I'm fine with a 2 MOA, and I think moving forward, if I were to buy one, I'd probably just buy a 2 MOA, and that way, if I needed it to be bigger, I could just bloom the dot. I guess it gives me more options, but I don't have a strong preference. And full disclosure, I'm not a huge dot guy, so dots weird me out. But that being said, I don't have a strong preference. And then Gun Guy 65 says, I enjoy your channel and keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I enjoy you coming on here and participating. So hope everybody's doing well. Have a wonderful day. Have some videos. We'll probably have a little bit of a hiatus on the channel just due to some of my work requirements. And so blessings to all of you. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see if I can get some fun stuff up on the channel, but there might be a little bit of a delay. So 3 rules for life again. Don't be a jerk, take care of yourself, help other people. And as always, know that you don't know what's going on in someone else's mind. They don't know what's going on in your mind. And so be kind and cautious when dealing with other people. Thanks always. Hold hard, shoot straight.